Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I'm your host, Jordan Evans. I look a mess and I can explain. So I am at the wonderful AG Rhodes with Deke and team, and my organization, Art Against Ageism, has come to do a public art display, the first of its kind. We have partnered with the Inside Out Project to do what I'm getting ready to show you. We have taken 160 some odd photos of resident staff and family members and put them on the community outside of AG Road. So I'm just going to show you that video real quick and then we'll jump into it. It's amazing. It's the first of its kind. It was so fun to do, and we've had volunteers from Georgia State University, from the Gerontology Institute. We've even had Deke out here putting up photos. So it's been awesome. And at some point, even because it's just personally my organization, will have to have them come on. Meg and I founded this organization in 2021, and Art Against Ageism has just been able to do amazing work. So let's get into what we're talking about today. Today, I have two wonderful guests, Denise Boudreau of Drive, and we also have ChatGPT on the call. And so before we get into all of that, let's run the intro. Well, I'd like to welcome you, Denise Boudreau and ChatGPT. ChatGPT, say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Welcome, Denise Boudreau.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
So I do want to understand. I want to understand more about ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, tell us more about yourself. What do you do? Who are you? All right. So that didn't work. So Denise, tell me more about you. And what are you working on? Tell us more about Drive. I feel like all of our regular viewers know you, but if this is your first time tuning in, just tell us about you.
Sure. So I have a company named Drive that works with organizations around the nation on organizational culture and how it impacts every single outcome in the organization. And obviously, our biggest outcomes that we're focusing on now are workforce related, so recruitment and retention. We've also seen the link between culture and occupancy a lot more recently, which is really neat. So we've been doing some more research on that. Organizational culture is what we're all about, and helping people to really improve their customer experience and bottom line through that culture.
Awesome. Workforce is the most important. I think we've had another guest that came on the show from, now I can't even remember who it was, but what they said, it was Procare HR, and what they said, which was so amazing, which is the most personal experience you have outside of your home is work.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's where you spend the most time outside of your home is work. So, I mean, work is so important, and driving culture, making sure that when you go to work, it's not a grueling experience is so important.
Yeah. And it's sometimes people think, well, does that mean it's just a free for all and everybody does whatever they want? And interestingly enough, thriving cultures, organizations with strong cultures are actually much more accountable, have better outcomes. Literally every single outcome in the organization or company is impacted by culture. And it's the exact opposite of this kind of laissez-faire, everyone do what they want, hands-off kind of approach. So we want to create a place where people want to come to work and give their best every single day. And then they tell their friends. And by the way, the biggest source of new employees are the best source, I should say, of new employees is employee referrals. So we want some place where people are like, you have to come check out where I work, and making it a place that people see and want to go work there. All of that takes a strong organizational culture.
So today we are testing ChatGPT's ability to provide solutions to problems that people come up
So far, I'm winning, Jordan.
So far you are.
So far,
So
I'm
far
winning.
you're winning. So let's test those.
I just would like.
ChatGPT, tell us about yourself.
Of course. I'm ChatGPT, an AI created by OpenAI. My goal is to assist with all kinds of tasks, whether that's answering questions, helping with creative projects, providing information, or even just having a conversation. I don't have personal experiences, but I've been trained on a wide variety of texts, so I can provide insights on many topics. How can I help today?
Okay. Well,
Now it's a contest.
Now it's a contest. So let's start with the first problem. And Denise, since you're the one that knows problems and have seen the biggest problems, give us a solution. Let's test how, and then, so give us a problem, tell us about what you did, and then we'll ask ChatGPT what they did, what they would do.
Yeah. So, I, and all kidding aside, I shared this with you, Jordan. We use AI in a bunch of different solutions that we work on with clients. So everything for ideas for goals. So someone has a SMART goal that they need to write, or I call it a SMART goal, the ER being the emotional reaction. So if we need to create a SMART goal, you might put into it, here's what I want to accomplish. Can you give me, 4 or 5 options for a SMART goal? And that's one way that we use it. I've used it to help people write mission statements. And so it's, I find it, you might want to cover her ears, that it's never 100% there. It's never exactly right, but it gives you ideas. So you'll think, oh, I like that particular word, or I like the idea of doing that. Or if I combine those two things, it gets me what I want. So I find it's almost like how we would use Google or any other kind of search engine, that it's the same thing, that it's, it's an idea generator, and might give us some thoughts that we wouldn't have had without putting it through there. So we've used it, like I said, SMART goals. We've helped people with their mission statements around it. When setting values, I'll put the values of the organization and say, can you give me an acronym from these values, so we can come up with some acronyms and make their values easy to remember for the organization. Job ads we've done, interview questions. So lots of things that we've used it.
Well, I've definitely used it to make job ads and interview questions. I've never had it give me the whole answer.
Yep.
I've definitely had it give me part of the answer, and then I had to fill in the rest of it.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, it's great to help do the little bit of work that you need to get it done.
Yeah.
So let's throw out a problem. How did you solve it? And then let's see what she would do.
Yeah. So one thing we can think about is, using organizational values in a job ad. So a lot of people are struggling with recruitment right now, or recruiting the right people. So when organizations measure their culture with us, one of the things we find out is, what is the current culture? What are the personal values that are most important to the employees that work there? And those can be used in those job ads. So we could take some personal values that are important to team members and put them into ChatGPT and ask her to write or yours is female. We call ours Sergio. We like to imagine that he's sitting on the French Riviera drinking wine, answering all our questions on his laptop. So So we can ask yours, or Sergio, as we would call ours, what's a job ad for these particular values and for this position, and see what she comes up with.
All right, well, let's ask her. Are you listening? The way
I'm not able to listen in the way people do, but I process what you type here to respond and assist as best I can.
Awesome. Well, let's ask her a question.
Yeah. So why don't we ask her to write a job posting for a let's see, how about for a housekeeper? And yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'm thinking, and then we'll put in the values so we can. I'll tell you those after you want to start with her. Just I'm thinking a job posting for a housekeeper in a senior living organization whose values are accountability, caring, and teamwork. And I'm particularly thinking of Sequoia Living, which is in San Francisco area, and they have 4 communities out in that area, and they're one of our clients that we just adore. And really their purpose and their mission is around never stop growing, and that's for people that live there as well as people that work there. So we can also put that in there and see what she comes up with.
All right, so we're going to make a job description for housekeeping, and the values are teamwork, caring, and
Accountability.
And we want to make this, if you know about Sequoia Senior Living, then in the which I don't think they might, but who knows? Anything else you want to add?
We could say maybe their mission. So their mission is to provide homes and services for healthy and joyful aging.
All right. Let's see what it does. All right. So a job description for a mission of goodness gracious. Here, type it into the chat. That'll help me.
So I would say a job posting for an open position for a housekeeper. The organization's values are accountability, teamwork, and caring. By the way, their staff picked those, their team members picked those values and their values, which is kind of neat. So we were, able to measure what were their desired values that they want in the organization. And between all the information we captured, they were actually the ones that decided on those values. Their philosophy is never stop growing.
Never stop growing.
I love that. Isn't that awesome? And then their mission, I'm going to copy right from their website. And they have a great career website. So if you are looking for a great example of a career website, Sequoia definitely.
Shout out to Sequoia.
Yes. Okay. They're top of mind because I was just texting with them. So,
all right. So we're going to do a job posting for an open position for housekeeper. The organization's values are accountability, teamwork, and caring. Their philosophy is never stop growing. And their mission is to provide homes and services for healthy and joyful aging.
Yep.
Got it. Here's a draft job posting for the housekeeper position, incorporating those values and mission. Job title, housekeeper. Location, insert location. About us, at organization name, we are dedicated to fostering environments where healthy and joyful aging is at the heart of everything we do. Our values, accountability, teamwork, and caring drive our commitment to providing the highest level of service and care for our residents. Guided by the philosophy of never stop growing, we create homes where every individual can thrive, no matter their age. Position overview. We are seeking a dedicated and detail-oriented housekeeper to join our team. This role is essential in ensuring a clean, safe, and welcoming environment for our residents and staff. As part of a collaborative team, you will help support the well-being of our residents by maintaining cleanliness and promoting a healthy living space. Key responsibilities. Clean and maintain assigned areas, including resident rooms, common areas, and offices. Ensure proper sanitation procedures are followed to create a safe environment. Work as part of a team to address resident needs and support the overall goals of the facility. Report any maintenance issues or safety hazards promptly. Demonstrate accountability in completing tasks efficiently and effectively. Qualifications. Experience in housekeeping or a related field is preferred, but we are willing to train motivated individuals. Strong commitment to teamwork and providing excellent service. Ability to work independently and manage time effectively. A caring attitude and willingness to go above and beyond to ensure a pleasant environment for residents. Why join us? At Oyem, we believe in never stop growing. For both our residents and our team members, we provide opportunities for growth and learning within a supportive and collaborative environment. Join us in making a difference in the lives of older adults by creating a place they can proudly call home. How to apply? Please send your resume and cover letter to contact information. We look forward to welcoming you to our team. Anything you'd like to adjust?
So I would say the beginning of it was like a snooze fest, and the bottom I think is really cool.
Bottom was really cool.
You know, she got the feel of it. And I could read you what Sequoia has on their website. But one of the things I would just say is this is why I love using ChatGPT, because there was a few things at the end. I was like, oh, that's cool. But all of that would have been in the beginning in the important real estate up top. And then all the nonsense and boring stuff below. And I know every state's got different regulations and so forth and rules. But we want to use our valuable real estate in a way that is really calling out purpose-driven work for people. So on Sequoia's actual careers page, it says, never stop growing. Consider a career working with older adults. And it says, discover, learn, grow. Our mission is to provide homes and services for healthy and joyful aging. Our guiding philosophy is rooted in a commitment to never stop growing. Growth for Sequoia Living is not so much about being bigger, it's about having a healthy dissatisfaction with the status quo, with the relentless pursuit of being slightly better than we were yesterday. The more we learn, the more we know, the better we become. So, yeah, explore your passion and your purpose while making a difference in the lives of seniors. And then there's a quote from the President CEO, Sarah McVeigh, who's an incredible human being. And it says, at Sequoia Living, we prioritize people. Together, we celebrate superpowers and strive to have the right people in the right positions with the right support to excel each day. And they talk about in 2023, Sequoia Living achieved World's Best Culture certification. And that's from their culture survey that they did with us at Drive. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. This certification showcases our commitment to world-class excellence. We were recognized for having organizational values that fuel a rewarding work experience. So calling that out and so forth. So, yeah, so I think there's a piece of like what she said at the end that would be good. I look at what they have, and it's definitely better than what she had.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wasn't too bad. Good point for ChatGPT. All right, so here's a question I have. So I was talking to a community recently, and they said, we have just a huge problem with time and attendance. And so, but that comes from a larger culture thing. But I'm curious how you would address a time attendance issue in a community. And I'm going to ask her the same question. So you first.
Yeah. So time and attendance, and you said it, is just a symptom of a bigger problem, right? So if you have a fever, Why do I have a fever becomes the question, right? Do I have an
Right.
infection in my body or whatever, right? Does something bite me and cause me to have a fever? Or like what is causing this fever? And it's the same thing with anything: turnover, absenteeism, not coming to work on time. So not coming to work and not coming to work on time is a symptom of a culture where people aren't 100% committed to that organization and the importance of their work there. Now, typically what we do is we say, well, that's because nobody wants to work anymore. And, it's all somebody else's fault. But what we need to do is take the opportunity to say, well, what might be happening or not happening here that's creating a place where people want to come to work, where they feel committed, where they must show up with their strongest gifts. It's just this calling for them. And what we know from the culture assessments that we do, the people that are wired to work in our field, how they're showing up is their top personal values that they select themselves are consistently things like accountability, things like compassion, empathy, positivity, humor, and fun. So with those values personally that they have, if they're not able to bring those things to work, they're
Yeah.
frustrated. That's when they call out. That's when they come in late because they don't care about me. Why should I care about them?
Hmm.
And then the opposite is also true, that people will be unbelievably committed when they see that the organization cares about them, values them, and is as committed to them or as they are to the organization.
Wow. I don't think ChatGPT can do better than that. But let's see what ChatGPT says. I was talking to a community recently, and they said that they have a problem with time and attendance, particularly with the nursing staff. I'll give you more context. What Give me a three-part solution of what I can do to address this issue, and where do you think this issue stems from?
It sounds like you're dealing with an issue related to staff attendance, particularly among nursing staff. This can often stem from a variety of factors, including burnout, scheduling challenges, and engagement.
Mm.
Here's a three-part solution to help address this problem. So, one, improve scheduling flexibility. Nurses often face long, demanding shifts, which can contribute to burnout and attendance issues. Offering more flexible schedules or shorter shifts could help. Consider rotating shifts to prevent staff from consistently working unfavorable hours. You could also explore self-scheduling options, where nurses choose their shifts within certain guidelines, giving them a sense of control over their work-life balance. Enhance engagement and recognition. A lack of engagement or feeling undervalued can cause staff to be less committed to showing up on time. Regularly recognizing and rewarding staff for excellent attendance, performance, and going above and beyond can improve morale. This can be done through formal recognition programs or even something as simple as shout outs in team meetings or small rewards for those with perfect attendance. Strengthen communication and support systems. Open lines of communication between nursing staff and management can help identify underlying issues affecting attendance. Create an environment where staff feel comfortable discussing challenges, whether they're personal or work related. You might also want to check whether staff have the support they need to manage their workloads, such as adequate staffing levels or access to mental health resources. Poor work-life balance. If nurses are consistently working tough shifts without flexibility, they may struggle to balance personal responsibilities, leading to absenteeism. Low engagement. If staff feel undervalued or disconnected from the organization's mission, they may be less motivated to commit to punctuality. Does this sound in line with what you're observing? Or would you like to dive deeper into any of these solutions?
So some performative things in there, which I think that performative is nice, but it's not the solution. But she did kind of touch on what you talked about as far as just making sure that there is a connection between someone's internal values and the larger values of the organization.
Yes, yes. And it's sort of the nuances. I taught a class this morning for Cornell. They had a consulting class, and they asked me to teach in that every year, do a session in there. And we were talking about this sense that, there could be best practices that you see. So, for example, like she said, the attendance awards and so forth. But if an organization isn't where culture wise isn't where they need to be for that to be successful, that's not going to make a difference. And the reason why is, if there's not a basic level of respect from people or feeling valued, offering like prizes for perfect attendance just feels like, I've worked in organizations, gone into organizations, I said, not myself work, but gone into organizations, consulted with them. And people have said to me, yeah, I told them they can keep their gift card. I don't want it. Right. That's what
Right.
happens, because it feels like a slap in the face. Like that $10 Starbucks card is supposed to make me feel better about that. Make me feel horrible every day. And you give me a $10 Starbucks card and it's supposed to take it away. And research shows that only 6% of people have gifts as their number one way that they are made to feel valued or recognized. So only 6% of people. So typically that stuff doesn't work very well. But having that culture, which she did touch upon, that people want to come to work, right? So if I don't come to work, I'm letting Jordan down, who I work with. And if I don't come to work, I'm letting down the people that I serve and love, residents and patients and whatever clients you want to call them, the customer side, I'm letting them down. That connection is what we want to really emphasize, because that's what's most important to the people that work in our field. The majority of people that work in our field, the most important reason why they work in our field is the people that they're serving and supporting. And so tapping into that connection makes them have more of that than sense of I've got to come to work and I've got to come to work on time.
So, last thing, Jada mentioned this in the chat. What do you think is the future of the industry that we serve when it comes to culture? And I mean, this really does drive culture, is like the way that it's set up. I mean, if you think about artifacts of a culture, thinking about like from an anthropology
Yes.
perspective of culture, the way that you build a building, the artifacts you use, being the tools that you use, um, all drive culture. And so, in the tools that you're seeing, where do you see the future of the industry in which we serve in? And then we'll ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. I see a much more of a focus on the true wellness and living. That people are not going to be put into facilities, which is how we speak now.
Yeah.
That we're going to see people for people. And our field has not done a great job of that. We've talked a lot about it. There's organizations that do a fabulous job of it, but they're few and far between. So this real sense of well-being for the people that work and live in different settings. I think the settings will look very different. Our settings are not very healing. I've been to lots of memory care units or memory care facilities, and I've cried in more of them than not cried, because just because you call something memory care doesn't mean you're doing what's right for the people. And once again, this is not every single organization, but it's People put up a locked door and, think they're doing the right thing for people. And I don't think there's people that are most aren't maliciously trying to do this, but we're missing the well-being piece. So the environment around us, is it healing? Is the food that we eat healing? Is the atmosphere there healing? Is it a loving environment for the people that work and live there? And so, I'm obsessed with this concept. This is my purpose in life, is really helping people to lead with love and lead their lives with love and lead others with love. And that's what I see for our future, that it is going to be a much more beyond person-centered and all that. It's going to be a much more focus on the true well-being of people. That I'm going to want to live to 120 because it's fabulous to be alive and a part of this community that I'm in, rather than being put someplace and put away someplace. So that's what I see. Years ago, when I first got into this field, so 30 years ago, my veterinarian, I took my dog to the vet, and he said, "Oh, you work in long-term care? I always thought they were kind of like pounds for old people." And
People that don't have a home.
and I don't know how much has changed in 30 years, and that will insult some people. And quite frankly, I don't really care, because we do a lot of defending a really crappy system, and field that has had very little innovation in the last probably 50 years. There's very little innovation. Maybe the places have gotten fancier and the chandeliers have gotten nicer and so on and so forth. But the real well-being of people, physically, mentally, spiritually, relationship-wise, I don't know that much has changed.
Oh, I was not expecting this to be such a sobering episode, Denise. It may be a long time till you're back on the show.
You'll get invited back. I won't.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think person-centered care is a low bar. I think person-directed care is better, but I think until I don't even think there is really a phrase for community living other than community living, but
Yeah.
and community working. But
Yeah.
we don't have many communities yet where people want to live and work. There are.
And, I read this article today, and it was written by somebody that said, the baby boomers are here and they don't want what we have and we need to, and I'm like, 30 years ago, I said to the Cornell students today, I'm like, I was sitting in your chair 30 years ago and the same damn message was being said. So now here we are 30 years later saying the same thing. Like, what is it going to take? And then we get upset when people don't want, people say they would rather die.
Yeah, I've heard people say that. I'd rather die than live in a nursing home, or I'd
or even
rather die
living.
than go into, yeah.
So if someone would rather die than get the services that you provide, might you want to think about the services you're providing and how?
Well, let's see what ChatGPT says. Maybe he's a little less jaded than we are. So we are talking about the future of senior living. What do you believe the future of senior living, let's say the next 50 years, will look like?
The future of senior living over the next 50 years will likely see significant changes, driven by
Advances in
shifting
technology.
societal expectations and new approaches to health and aging. Here's a vision of what senior living might look like. 1. Personalized tech-driven care technology will play a huge role in transforming senior living. We could see the rise of smart homes with integrated AI and robotics to assist with daily activities, health monitoring, and social engagement. Wearable devices and sensors could continuously monitor residents' health, detect falls, or even predict health issues before they occur. Virtual healthcare and telemedicine will likely become the norm, reducing the need for frequent in person visits to doctors. This could create environments where residents are more independent but still have access to top tier care. Intergenerational communities and age integrated housing. As society becomes more inclusive, the separation between senior living communities and the broader population may blur. We could see more intergenerational housing, where older adults live alongside younger families, fostering relationships across age groups. These communities could provide both care and social interaction, reducing isolation and ensuring seniors are integrated into everyday life rather than in isolated, age restricted facilities. The focus will shift from retirement homes to holistic communities where people of all ages live, learn, and grow together. Holistic well-being and longevity-focused health will be viewed more holistically, focusing not just on medical care, but on emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Senior living communities may resemble wellness centers, emphasizing fitness, nutrition, cognitive health, and mindfulness practices. With longer lifespans, there may be a shift toward longevity living, with a focus on maintaining a high quality of life well into old age. Programs around continuous learning, creative expression, and meaningful social engagement will be at the core of these communities. Sustainability and customization. Sustainability will likely be a major factor, with senior living communities adopting green architecture and energy efficient practices. There may be more localized, community focused models where people live in smaller, eco friendly homes tailored to their needs. Customization will also be key, with facilities designed to adapt to the preferences and care levels of individual residents, allowing for a more person centered experience. A shift from care to empowerment. Perhaps most importantly, the future of senior living may evolve from focusing purely on care to promoting empowerment. The narrative around aging is changing, and older adults are increasingly seen as contributors to society, not just recipients of care.
Ooh.
Senior living communities will likely place greater emphasis on enabling residents to lead fulfilling, empowered lives, with opportunities for work, volunteering, creativity, and leadership within their communities. In summary, the next 50 years in senior living could be defined by increased independence, personalization, intergenerational engagement, and a focus on holistic well-being, all supported by advanced technology. Does that align with the kind of future you envision for senior living?
I think it does. That was like, oh, I'd love to live in that world. I mean,
Yes.
that just sounds like a world free. That sounds like a world free of ageism.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, as you know, art against ageism, that just sounds like a place where people can live and
Yes.
not live just because they're old.
Yep.
Oh, what a great way to end the show. I'm so glad that you came on, Denise. It's always good to see you. You'll definitely be back soon. Anytime we're talking about tech as it serves our industry to better care for residents, better care for staff, and better care for ourselves. Um, I know you'll be in the conversation. So thanks so much for coming. Uh, ChatGPT, thank you so much for coming on the call.
Fabulous. Thanks for having me, Jordan.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could join. Feel free to reach out anytime. Take care.
All right. And that's been another episode of Tech Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday at 1:30 Eastern. And it has been so fun. And every time we're here talking about tech and how it serves our industry to better do what we do best. See y'all.
Awesome.